Hey there, I am back with another deck review, and today we're going to be looking at the Great Creator from RiffleShuffle and designed by Widakk Design Studios. Now, this is the latest in RiffleShuffle's sort of more luxury line of decks where they've worked with a variety of different designers to produce a whole series of decks launched on Kickstarter, all of them featuring unique themes, really ornate tuck cases, and fully custom decks inside. I've been a fan of the whole series. I think it's always really interesting, the themes that they come up with. And this isn't the first time they've worked with Widakk Design Studios as well. Back in 2020, they produced the Devils in the Details deck, a really beautiful deck worth checking out if you haven't seen that one. And Widakk has worked with other producers as well, combining with Vanda to produce the Planet series, another great set of cards. And all this is to say, Widakk really has some design chops. And so when they teamed up with RiffleShuffle yet again for the Great Creator, I was excited and really eager to check them out. So let's get right into them. So the Great Creator is actually a deck series that's inspired by the creation myth of the ancient Sumerians. They believed in a variety of gods and goddesses, but two of the principal ones were An and Ki. An was the god of the skies, and Ki was his consort and the goddess of earth. And so the sky and the earth decks, the sky in blue here and then earth in green, pay tribute to that god and goddess. And so of course the sky deck features An, while the earth deck features Ki. So we'll take a look at both of them. The decks are different in several regards, not just the tuck cases, but we'll get a chance to look at all of them in turn. But let's start off by looking at the sky deck. All right, so this one is done on a matte blue cardstock here, kind of that navy blue, and it's covered with super bright electric blue foil, as well as this embossed kind of rose gold section at the top. At the top, you get the Great Creator playing cards done in kind of a Victorian font, which is a little bit interesting because it doesn't really kind of fit with the ancient Sumerians, and I think it's kind of an interesting contrast to have this almost more modern looking font on the front. Kind of an interesting pairing there. But the main highlight of this one is the beautiful scene on the front. You get the architecture around the edges, lots of different borders and frames around here, and then in the center, kind of a portrait of An, the god of the sky. You can see him there seated amongst the clouds, holding the heavens in his hand there, and then the eagle ruling over the skies and sitting over there at his side. Beautiful image overall. I will say, I wish the contrast between the back design and the foil was a little bit better. If I hit it in the light just right, you can see everything great. But if I turn it wrong, it gets a little bit dark and hard to see. So wish there had been a little bit better contrast. You'll see that's a little bit improved on the green version of the deck, but still beautiful, not bad at all. And the detail there when you get it in the right light, just absolutely stunning. Just so much going on in there. And then you can see, of course, this is the sky version of the deck at the bottom. On the sides, it says the Great Creator, God of Heavens. And the other side, RiffleShuffle Playing Card Company. Bottom has your ad copy for Widakk and RiffleShuffle, as well as mentioning these were made in Taiwan. These were printed by the Taiwan Playing Card Company. And then the top, most all of it is covered up by the custom tuck seal here. And you can see on the top here has deck number 1094 out of the 2500 deck run. The other part of the seal just says, those from heaven to earth came. So kind of a reference to An himself. And the back design here features another beautiful and stunning design, kind of another portrait style. This one featuring An almost putting a planet up in the skies. You can see the glowing heavens around him, the clouds surrounding him, and his staff at his side, and then kind of a partial image of the earth on the side as well. Really cool look to this one. Love the portrait feature. And as we get to the earth version of the deck, you'll see where this gets even better, but stay tuned for that one. All right, as you open it up, you get a little bit of writing here on the interior. Ancient king to all gods, sky father, lord of the stars and constellations. And then the moon and the star there on the inner flaps, and some really cool inner printing here with a series of runes, kind of mysterious Sumerian runes going all the way down. And a little bit hard to make out in here, but there actually is a silhouette or an image of a bird inside there as well. So the eagle makes his way to the interior of the tuck as well. But a really cool, beautiful, ornate tuck case, beautiful artwork on it. The embossing of the lettering up here, just all of it combines to form a really beautiful package. But let's check out the cards next. We'll start out with the back design. Here it is. So again, a beautiful, intricate design, kind of following with the same fine detail work and artwork that we saw in the tuck case. This one again featuring a bird that rules the skies, the eagle perched there in the middle, and just so much detail and line work, just really intricate work. And then you can see that kind of diamond shape, and then lots of different sort of architectural details around or pattern borders around. Colors in here, this is kind of a navy blue and then mixed in with a gold metallic ink. It's a really striking look to it, and just so much intricate detail covering every square inch of this. Finishes out with that super thin white poker border for what makes for a really striking back design. All right, you get a pair of jokers in this one, and this one features the creation of man sort of as the highlights. You can see on there in the back, and then a silhouette of the first human as he crafts that first human. Two jokers are very similar artwork, one done in black and white and the other one done in some sort of muted colors here, a little bits of blue and gold as the color scheme. The bottom, the great creator, RiffleShuffle playing card company, and then just joker in the corners. Really like those jokers. I love that silhouette and the creation sort of alluded to there in the middle. All right, the Ace of Spades features On's name there at the top, and then this sort of Sumerian guards perched on the sides, as well as these Sphinx-style statues here on the side, and then the banner God of Heavens with a little medallion, I guess you would call it, for On there in the center. And then the emblem in the middle gives you the actual spade pip, that large spade pip with a star, another symbol of the skies in the middle. Name of the deck and RiffleShuffle again mentioned at the bottom. And then a really interesting sort of almost looks like a rune, the font that's chosen for the index in the corner, but then a pretty standard style pip in the corner as well. So nice job on the Ace of Spades. The other three aces are a little bit closer to standard. They do feature a custom pip in the middle, so you can see here with a diamond, it's embellished with the gold metallic ink and the star in the center. Again, the star, a reference to the skies. And the other two pips also feature that same thing. You get the little star emblem in the middle. These, a little bit hard to see. This may look true black, but this is actually a really, really dark navy blue on the black cards. And then kind of a more crimson red on the red cards. Number cards feature those custom pips in the middle, just a little bit smaller, so very small pips on these. I do like the little custom embellishment. I would have liked slightly larger pips. I think it ends up being a little bit too much white space on this one, especially given how intricate and filled with detail everything else is on the deck. But still, like the addition of the little extra little embellishment on the pips themselves. As you get into the diamonds, just switching over to that crimson color, and then the deep, deep navy blue for the black cards. But that same star in the center of all of them, and into the hearts. All right, and then we get to the courts. And the courts feature, rather than typical royalty, these instead feature some of the ancient beings who also participated as part of the creation myth. Not any specific named characters, but you can imagine these as some of the nameless gods and goddesses who were worshipped by the ancient Sumerians. Some of them looking a little bit more like animals. This one kind of has an eagle's head there, but the human arms. Some of them looking more humanoid like the queen and the king here. All of them are holding little random implements, different things that maybe were a part of their contribution to creation, whether they're holding, bits of food, like I imagine that's maybe a bit of corn there in the hand of the bird there, or other implements that maybe were a big part of creation. Like you can see the animal there perched on the Queen of Spades arm. Beautiful artwork again, those two-way courts. I would have liked to have seen these maybe a little bit larger, filling up a little bit more of that white space, but still some really interesting artwork. And I like the choice of this sort of muted color palette here. You get little bits of blue and gold, but overall almost maintains kind of a black and white or even sepia sort of look to it. And then you get to the diamonds, and you'll see one of the things that kind of bothers me a little bit about this one, and that's I won't call them repeated quartz because there's definitely differences, but not nearly as many differences as I would have liked. So like we'll look here at the queen, for example. They're definitely different, right? They're holding different things in their hands, but very similar artwork used between them. So you'll see some repeated artwork on these. Some of the court cards look a little bit more different. Like you look at the jacks here, definitely those look a little bit more different, but very similar vibe to the artwork on these. And you'll see that continue as we go through. So again, some differences as you go from one court to the next, but definitely some repeated fragments of the artwork throughout. still beautifully done. I love the artwork on these. I just would have wished for maybe a little bit more variety in the court cards, particularly as you look at the kings. I mean, look at that, just, you know, very similar beard style. The pose is almost the same, just some kind of minor differences on each one. I think a little bit more variety really would have gone a long way. Anyway, that is the look at the sky version of the deck, but let's look real quick at the earth version, because this is where I think the deck series gets really interesting. So right off the bat, you'll see some of the immediate differences. Obviously the color, you get that forest green cardstock, this time with the electric green foil on here. Really beautifully done. This one features key Mother Earth there in the center, this time seated amongst the land animals. You can see the lion there on her side, or the leaves around, and she has the earth at her side. Beautiful image as well. I will say the contrast on this one works a little bit better. Definitely still gets a little bit harder to see in the wrong light, but I think much better contrast than the blue version of the deck. But I do think both of them are nice if you get them in the right light. On the side here, this one mentions the goddess of earth, where remember the other one said god of sky, and the other side RiffleShuffle. So a lot of the same details on this one. This one's also limited to 2,500 decks, and the scene on the back, of course, is switched up to feature this time Key seated amongst the plants with the mountains in the background. And really cool look, if you combine the two tuck cases, you get a beautiful diptych scene that feature the two gods together, combining their powers to form the earth as we know it. So it forms the earth there in the middle. Really cool extra little touch to get the diptych scene across the two versions of the deck. As you open up, a couple of other little differences. Here on the inside, of course, mentions ancient queen of the all gods, Mother Earth, lady of the mountains and valleys, instead of the tribute to the sky god on the other one. A little bit different emblems here featuring earth, flowers, and plants. And the interior printing features, on the face of it, the same runes, but inside features a picture of a lion to replace the eagle. So beautiful tuck case. Love how the two work together. And there's some differences on the cards as well. And first off, you'll see on the back design, obviously you get a bit of a color swap. That dark green mixes great with the gold, and the eagle in the center has been replaced by the proud lion. Really love that illustration of the lion. I think that's just beautifully done. There's some other small little details like the leaf work there, or the plants that kind of give the nod to earth over sky in this deck. But similar color scheme. Jokers are swapped out now to feature Key instead of On, this time forming a female rather than the male that was being formed in the other one. And you get some differences here. So where everything was dark blue on the sky deck has now been replaced with a dark green to fit with the earth theme. Small differences here on the Ace of Spades as well. Of course, Key mentioned, and the medallion of Key at the bottom, and then Goddess of Earth, as well as the color changes, but otherwise pretty similar. And the embellishment in the center of the pips has also changed. So we had the star as a tribute to the skies on the sky deck, and now we have it replaced with the flower as a symbol of Earth on the Earth deck. So lots of small little touches that I think really help this deck feel a distinct deck and a purposeful deck compared to the other one. I really like that touch. The color scheme changed slightly, so now dark green instead of dark blue on these, but otherwise the same basic following as we go through the number cards. And the court cards, as we fast forward to those, are not changed either, other than some slight color scheme changes. So again, kind of replacing the dark blue with the dark green. So not much different, or very, very similar look to the court cards overall. So as many other small details as went into this, again, I would have liked more variety in the court cards, and if the court cards maybe had been a little bit more differentiated from one deck to the other, but still beautiful artwork overall. All right, and that is the deck with the differences. Overall, I think I like the Earth deck a little bit better. Not sure what you think. Let me know down in the comments if you prefer one versus the other. But anyway, as far as handling, these are produced, like I said, or printed by the Taiwan Playing Card Company. They do really, really well with handling. Very smooth, kind of a slipperier feel to them, but still really great handling overall. No complaints on that front. It's definitely a little bit stiffer of a feel, a little bit snappier of a card, but still has a nice soft feel to them as you sort of riffle them overall. So for me, I think Taiwan Playing Card Company has been doing a great job with decks. Hoping to see more from them. I think they do a phenomenal job with the quality of their registration and the handling. Not bad either. But anyway, that is it. That is the look at the great creator from RiffleShuffle and Widakk Design Studios. Hope you enjoyed this look. Make sure to subscribe for more deck reviews, more unboxings. Let me know what else you want to see, and I'll see you for the next one.